we're going to do this the way we used to do it because honestly, I'm using up a lot of my time that I have. And so we're just going to go back and do it the way we used to do it just on this one. So this is the latest. This one is called Precipice to Oblivion. We literally are on the cusp of a lot of different things going on. And so we want to give you an update, and I figure I better do it now. I think we're kind of in between, the attacks going on between Iran and Israel. It looks like Iran is getting ready to plan something major. So I've got basically the day's intel, and what I think we're going to do is do it now in between, and then we'll cover over on PrepperNow when the big show starts, should it. Trump is basically saying this is your last chance. Israel smells blood. I don't think they even care about a last chance. Iran, I think, is just like, this is our life. This is existential. And we're all just going to kind of see it now unfold. So we are on the precipice to oblivion, as I'm obviously calling this thing. So if I can get you all to hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell, and we will take you through everything as it has happened today. This is your AM report. Might do a PM report later. Depends. I have to pick up my wife from the airport, so that's going to be tough to do. So I thought it's better to do it now, and that way we can do something going on if we go live with a major attack by Iran or Israel or whatever. Okay, this is a full-on war. Okay, this is a full-on war. This isn't what happened a year ago in April, or this is the real deal, and where things are not trending in a good way. So you can see a lot of different stuff. Now people are saying, I think there's on the West, on the pro-Israel, pro-America side, there's a hope and desire that the regime is going to collapse. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. When you read both sides, they're winning. The Iranians are kind of doing this, we're fighting back, but kind of playing the victim thing. I think they're trying to get a bit of a coalition on their side from their friends in the Arab world, but I don't see it happening. Israel is walking around like, top cock. They just think they are kicking butt, taking names, and all will kneel before Zod, if you will. They establish and say that they've got supremacy of the air. They say they can basically bomb and do whatever the heck they want. Well, there are some problems going on with Israel as well. Haifa's had major hits. We have some updates on that. There's things that have happened to them as well. So we're just going to have to see. The big worry, folks, is that this thing goes mushroom cloud. Okay? We shall see, but I think Iran is about to say, you know what, we can't hold back anymore. They've been kind of seemingly holding back on their stuff that they sent because I think they're trying to use up the air defenses of the Israelis. And I've seen the missile videos of going in, and there's a major difference between a hypersonic and an MRBM or those kind of ballistic missiles. The hypersonics come in, they're basically cloud to ground in about 0.5 seconds. So, and they're able to chuck those. They've got a few. The Russians have given them the tech. The Chinese have given them the tech. So let's get started. About 5 minutes in. This is your crisis report for the 16th of June, 2025. We're entitling this Precipice to Oblivion. Hopefully you have considered becoming a member like Stealth Mode. It helps what we're doing here. I don't know of too many people that are putting this kind of work together and doing it. I basically go out, find about 30 different channels of all different varying color and style and side of things, and I put it together in one large report. And I think it gives you a whole picture. And when you have a whole picture, you can tell exactly where things are going. And I don't think they're going in a good way. So let's get started. By the way, this is the secret. Join there. I haven't been able to post there quite yet, but I'm going to start here pretty soon. That is where things go if things get shut down here. And unfortunately, that is a ongoing potential here on this platform. They do what they do. So let's get started. The moment Iranian missiles hit the Haifa power plant, and immediately the lights shut off, and they did. It was a major hit. We'll have an update on that. U.S. Embassy consulate in Israel will remain closed today. Iranian missile only fell a few hundred meters from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Death to Israel, death to America. Chants from inside the Islamic Republic of Iran's parliament. Crucial vote on abandoning the NPT. Damage caused by Iranian missiles fell near the embassy branch in Tel Aviv, according to the United States ambassador to Israel. Interesting time to give such a statement. Israeli ambulance spokesperson said that shelters may not withstand rocket strikes. Iran executes an individual said to be a spy for the Israelis, according to Fars News. Death toll, last night's Iranian attack, 5. That's going to rise. Stunning new visuals taken from an aircraft over the United Arab Emirates. Iranian missile being launched toward Israel. We're showing that over on PrepperNow, and let me tell you, it is absolutely surreal. As Akila said, all you need is the anthem to the Soviet Union rolling, and you have a nice end of days feel to things. United States Air Force C-17 cargo aircraft, additional aircraft missile interceptors for the THAAD air defense systems are airborne, mainland USA to the Middle East. In the coming hours, Israel will issue new directives for Iranian civilians to evacuate. Israeli bombardment is expected to be huge, and it was. Death toll, Israel rise to 8, last night's Iranian attack. All 28 United States Air Force refueling tankers, which took from the mainland U.S., are moving to Ramstein Air Force Base, Germany. And now the proverbial song. Hast, du hast nicht, du hast nicht. Metalheads, anyone? Overnight, 8 drones launched at Israel were intercepted by Israeli Navy missile boats. IDF says, adding that for the first time it used a new air defense system. Israeli military says the Barak Magan air defense system was used, first time, carry out an interception. United States is planning a limited retaliatory action for today's attack on the consulate in Israel, according to sources. Haven't seen anything like that, but there's updates on all that coming. Multiple explosions now in Kermanshah. Smoke can be seen rising. Initial reports coming in, the Iranian parliament has just voted to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Fordow nuclear enrichment facility cannot be destroyed by conventional Israeli ordnance and would require a Moab massive ordnance air blast. Largest non-nuclear ordnance in existence, which only the United States has. Israeli security and military affairs expert Yossi Melman speaks on the current Israeli-Iran hostilities, signals its need for President Trump to broker negotiations between countries. Many fortified underground bunkers collapsed due to the intensity of Iranian missiles. There was definitely visual confirmation of that. With the withdrawal of the Nimitz carrier strike group to the Middle East, this leaves the Western Pac without any active U.S. strike group. USS George Washington left Yokosuka, Japan, a few days ago for summer patrol in the Indo-Pac theater. Nearly every major U.S. naval asset moving out of the Pacific and en route to the Persian Gulf. This comes at a time when the Chinese PLA Navy have deployed both of their operational aircraft carriers for the first time. You do the math. Credit markets are currently pricing in a 6-level credit downgrade for the United States Treasuries. This would give it a rating of BBB, just a smidge above investment grade. A severe downgrade would send U.S. Treasury bond interest rates to 6+% and mortgages to 10+%. That is what we call a housing crash. Reports suggest the United States Air Force is relocating THAAD interceptor systems from its base in Qatar to Israel in response in the ongoing threat posed by Iranian missile strikes. The move is aimed at strengthening Israel's long-range air defense capabilities, particularly against ballistic threats as the conflict intensifies. CNN says the United States has redirected air defense systems from Ukraine to the Middle East. Confirmed, live metrics show that the Gaza Strip is again in the midst of a telecom blackout. Incident is likely to severely limit most residents' ability to communicate in the second such incident this month. CNN says United States President Trump is deeply skeptical about joining Israel's operation against Iran. Fears involvement in a conflict neither wanted or initiated. Such a move is fraught with danger. It could expand the conflict beyond its current belligerence and lead to a grueling open-ended war with no clear endgame. That is the worst-case scenario. Vance Belter, suspect in the hit of the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, has been apprehended in Sibley County, Minnesota. The man killed their dog. When I say that these people have a mental illness, I mean it. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claims Iran was behind 2 hit attempts on Trump. Sure. Hebrew netizens report discontent on the IDF's announcement of using the Dakhia doctrine on Tehran civilians. Many suggest it will tarnish Israel's reputation. I think we're well beyond that. President Trump orders ICE to double down on the raids in cities like Los Angeles, despite Mayor Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom asking President Trump to cease all raids in the state. He said, nope, F you, we're going full bore. IDF has issued evacuation warnings for civilians in a large area of Iran's Tehran. IDF stated in the coming hours, IDF will operate in the region in line with its actions in recent days around Tehran to attack military facilities belonging to the Iranian regime. Increased electronic interference in the Straits of Hormuz and Gulf, significant impact on AIS. Its annual assessment, SIPRI, warns that a dangerous new nuclear arms race is emerging. Trump Mobile launches wireless service in new gold smartphone arriving in August, made in the U.S. Can you imagine if Reagan came out and put out like the Ronald Reagan Commodore 64 or something like that? I don't understand why they do this crap. It's just such a crappy look. Just rule the country, dude. Don't freaking put your little let's make money crap in here. Iran seeks talks with the U.S. and Israel, sending messages via Arab intermediaries to end hostilities. Iran asked Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman to urge Trump to pressure Israel into agreeing to an immediate ceasefire. Israel is not doing it. Iranian IRGC calls on residents in Tel Aviv to evacuate immediately. Looks like the tanker deployment is all throughout Europe, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East. We covered this in the back channels of the PrepperNow and Crisis Report members on YouTube, like Sally Sock Puppet. Basically, I get important information and I put it there first. We saw late last night that there were 30 Strato tankers leaving, the largest single movement we've ever seen, and they're all going to Europe because, well, it looks like we're going for a big effing war. Just saying. Many of the refuelers have landed at Moron Air Base in Spain, with others on UK, Germany, Italy, and one to Estonia. A few pressed on to CENTCOM AOR. EUCOM, heightened state of alert. CENTCOM, heightened state of alert. INDOPAC, heightened state of alert. Israel is bunker busting Iranian underground missile facilities in the Tehran mountains. 32 refueling tankers with their respective fighter squadrons are on standby in Europe, Middle East, Asia Pac. Trump's orders, Reuters confirmed. Like reported from the sources yesterday, this is Aquila. Massive movement even started. U.S. is preparing for something very big, which could get other countries involved. Iran state TV and radio about to disappear, according to Israeli defense minister, and that they did, not completely. Netanyahu says Israel is on the path to achieving our two main objectives, eliminating the nuclear threat and eliminating the missile threat. We have controlled the skies over Iran, and we are on the road to victory. We are prepared for a prolonged and full-scale war. We have considered every scenario and are ready for any conditions. General Vahidi, advisor to the IRGC commander-in-chief, said that the claims about a depletion of our missile stockpile are laughable. We have yet to fully utilize our missile capabilities in any strategic sense. When we deem it necessary, we will deploy our advanced systems to the battlefield. Next-generation missiles are only a part of what we have prepared. We are not concerned about a long war. In the coming days, the world will witness the innovations Iran is bringing to the battlefield. Day by day, the conditions on the ground will shift in our favor across all dimensions of warfare. We are also prepared to activate other capabilities at our disposal. Our forces stand ready to make the Zionist regime regret its actions. Soon everyone will see the breadth and strength and capabilities possessed by the Iranian armed forces in various domains. Multiple casualties feared after massive explosions that took place at a fireworks factory in Linli County, Hunan Province, January. Breaking, IAEA says no indication of attack on underground section of Iran's Natanz nuclear site. U.S. issues do not travel alert for Israel. If you're going to Israel, you need to not go there. For the love of Jehoshaphat, don't go. In fact, just whole Middle East, stay away. Israel attacked the headquarters of Iranian state television. Noor News reports attack on the building hit a live broadcast. Presenter managed to escape. Studio was enveloped in smoke. Israeli impacts against the Iranian outlet Akarin Akbar headquarters, District 3, Tehran. Iran issued an evacuation order for N12 and now 14 News Israel headquarters. Iran is asking Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman to pressure America to ask Israel to stop the war. Iran is willing to stop uranium enrichment. Israel will not stop until it reaches its goals. For that, we need at least one more week, according to Amir Sarfati. Air Force is attacking now more buildings, the state TV station. By this evening, it won't broadcast at all. Syria's President Abu Mohammed al-Jalani says Syrian airspace is open for intercepting Iranian missiles. That is a load of crap. That gets walked back. That is not true. U.S. cancels bilateral talks with Russia. United States unilaterally canceled a scheduled meeting with Russia aimed at resolving tensions in bilateral relations, according to Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova. By the way, the Russians are doing a full offensive today. Multiple drone attacks, bombers airborne. They're going buck wild. I haven't covered that here because we're all about the Middle East right now. But Russia is doing some major damage to Ukraine today. Israel orders the evacuation of the entirety of District 3. This is an area with 330,000 people, I might mind you. It looks like the complete destruction of civilian infrastructure will begin on both sides. IDF says the Israeli Air Force is continuing to strike military targets, central Iran. Footage of IAF fighter jets taking off for strikes in Iran. Footage of IAF fighter jets. These are all links. If you like that kind of thing and you want to get them, well, you can go to the PrepperNow Substack. It is https://preppernow.substack.com. There you can get the links, you can get all the information, and you can generally take it to wherever the heck you want it to be. You can give a little bit of money for the effort, or you can sign up for free. It doesn't matter. We are almost to 500 subscribers over there. It is the most comprehensive information gathering on anywhere I've seen, but I'm biased. Fire spread, smoke pours, headquarters of the Islamic Republic, Iran Broadcasting, or IRIB, located at District 3 of Tehran, Iranian capital, following major strikes moments ago against the complex by the Israeli Air Force. Al-Mayadeen reports casualties, Israeli strikes, Iranian radio, television corp, buildings. Trump says Israel is doing extremely well and we've given it massive support. Iran is not winning this war and should talk to us before it's too late. IRIB statement says the Zionists will not silence the voice of the Iranian nation. His last check still broadcasting. Trump at the G7 says throwing Russia out of G7 was a mistake. Russian news agency Rupli says having received a message of imminent strikes against their building in Tehran. Israeli airstrikes right now in Azad Square, heart of Tehran. Iran is preparing for the largest and most intense missile attack in history on Israeli soil, according to their state media. Haven't seen it yet. It's supposedly coming. They're thinking nightfall could be happening as we speak, but I haven't seen anything yet. Yes, double tap the stream to give a thumbs up like on it, okay? I do it this way with the whole mobile style because that's the way that YouTube wants to do it now, because then they put you in the shorts feed and you actually get people to watch you. Otherwise, this channel, like PrepperNow, will be seen by only subscribers because they hate what we do here because we give you the fucking truth. Iranian President Mahmoud Pezeshkian says we extend our hand of brotherhood to all Islamic nations. They are brothers and must stand with us today. It is time for unity. Iran says privately it will resume talks if the U.S. stays out of the fight. Russian Foreign Ministry says Iran is acting within its right to self-defense. G7 says Israel has the right to defend itself. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Israel's wars since October 7th have cost around $85 billion. War with Iran is estimated to cost $300 million per day, jet fuel and munitions alone. Syrian Ministry of Information says we categorically deny the allegations claim that President Ahmad al-Shara announced the opening of Syrian airspace to intercept Iranian drones and missiles. These claims are completely baseless. It's true. It's true that's false. Iranian media says several Iranian TV employees were killed after the Israeli strike on Tehran. Erdogan says Israel's attacks on Iran do not only concern Iranians, but they will have wider implications. Erdogan said that Western-backed Israel may later realize its mistake, but it will be too late. He said with every act of oppression, every drop of blood shed, every crime against humanity, Israel is gradually jeopardizing its own existence and future. Today, Israel committed a blatant war crime by striking a building housing journalists considered untouchable, even while live on air and in full view of the whole world. Iran is preparing for the largest and most intense missile attack in the history of Israeli soil, according to state media. France has shut down Israeli arms booth at the Paris Air Show, 2025 Paris Air Show. French authorities shut down 4 major Israeli defense industry booths: IAI, Rafael, Elbit Systems, U-Vision, and Aeronautics, after the companies refused to remove offensive weapons from display. Companies' weapons are used to kill civilians. French government banned such exhibits due to Gaza war and tensions with Iran, allowing only defensive systems. French organizers confirmed the closures were ordered by the government. Organizers want to avoid casting a shadow over the fair. Yes, they do hate me, and I don't care. Turkish President Erdogan, we're now planning missile production to raise our medium and long-range stockpiles to credible deterrent levels. Soon we'll reach a defense capacity that no one will dare challenge. We've entered the phase of producing our systems in quantities that truly reinforce in deterrence. If you're not strong politically, socially, economically, and militarily, you lack deterrence and you're vulnerable. As a nation, we'd rather die than live in shame. Better to rest with honor beneath the soil than live dishonorably above it. We have not received any indication so far that Iran is interested in dialogue, according to Israeli Channel 12, even though the Wall Street Journal is putting it out there. Gunman who fatally shot Minnesota state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband in their home, also killed the family's cherished rescue dog. Why? Because they're freaking leftists and they're freaking insane. By the way, the guy in Salt Lake City, Gamboa, he also was a crazed leftist. Guess what he did? He was getting ready to shoot people, and then a leftist peacekeeper at the rally for No Kings decided to try to take him out, except he missed and killed an innocent bystander. I'm going to post this video I sent. Frank, you got it. I'm going to post this video. I think I put it onto my Telegram. This guy from, I don't know where he's from or whatever. He's African-American, but he totally nails it in what he says. He's like, all I got to do is sit back and let them keep doing what they're doing because nobody's into this crap. He's like, it's like trying to get as many people to go to a Trump rally as possible, and you're offering free Bud Light and brisket. Just crazy. People are nuts. I'm being told that if Trump makes a decision to join in with Israel to bomb Iranian nuclear facilities, the entire U.S. military establishment will be ready within 30 minutes, and within 45 minutes, strikes will begin to rain down. Saying this now only, the Iranian regime is on the brink of collapse. Most of its officials are already making plans to or have already abandoned the sinking ship. They're all moving out now. We don't have any confirmation. This is speculation. Finance Minister Smotrich presents the outline of initial aid to authorities directly affected by the war. 2,770 people have been evacuated in hotels. So far, 24 buildings are designated for demolition. Israel is right now bombing the Isfahan nuclear facility. Israeli Hermes reconnaissance drone operating over Tehran, capital of Iran. Israel has established full air superiority from western Iran to the capital of Tehran and beyond. Former Trump NSC advisor and U.S. Army General, retired Michael Flynn, says, "We have to let Israel finish the job, which will allow the U.S. to fully focus on the CCP. An Israeli victory would establish regional dominance for Israel and strengthen American dominance globally." That's what we call the Greater Israel initiative. That's what they're going for, folks. They want to see that country expand. Better or for worse. Photos shared by Israeli Prime Minister. Office shows Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu managing the campaign against what the office said was the Iranian regime's annihilation plan. Ballistic missile launches have been detected. They have since been refuted. There's been a lot of false alarms today. Israeli Channel 12 and 14 are asked their staff to prepare for immediate evacuation. Israel is attacking in Bushehr. Israeli Prime Minister will be interviewed this evening by the main Iranian opposition channel, Iran International. Interview will be called Regime Change. Defense establishment is detecting a larger number of missiles ready to be launched soon compared to previous launches. Tabriz, Iran, reports on a wave of attacks that are unusually intense. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, we destroyed hundreds of missiles and hit a large number of launchers. We continue to hit missile production facilities, one after another. We continue to systematically destroy nuclear targets. Netanyahu says we eliminated the Iranian security elite, both the army and the Revolutionary Guard. We're eliminating them one by one. Here, too, with our hand still outreached, Israel controls the skies over Tehran. We paved an air highway in Iran. Foreign Minister Gideon Saar, I told the EU's foreign policy chief that we have not finished our operation in Iran. Netanyahu says we destroyed hundreds of missiles and hit a large number of launchers. Israeli warplanes are conducting strikes against the missile launch sites in Iranian soil that were about to fire a new wave of missiles at Israeli territory. House Speaker Mike Johnson postpones trip to Israel. More ships capable of intercepting ballistic missiles will head to the Eastern Mediterranean Sea in the coming days and weeks, U.S. officials say, according to the Wall Street Journal. Prime Minister Netanyahu, we're on the path to victory, and Iran understands this. The Prime Minister adds another goal for the first time, crushing Iranian support for terrorism in the Middle East. Ongoing cyber attacks against Israeli alert systems. Israel's President Herzog claims that Israel had no choice but to attack Iran because it was rushing to a nuclear bomb and that negotiations were futile as they are lying while talking to us. Clashes reported between PMU factions and Iraqi military who are trying to storm the U.S. embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. U.S. President Trump is expected to present Iran with a last chance offer, U.S. and European officials tell the JP, the Jerusalem Post. Boeing KC-46 Pegasus refueling aircraft now at Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar. Preparations are underway by the U.S. to join the Israeli campaign against Iran if Trump gives the green light. CENTCOM supports joining, while senior administration officials oppose it, a U.S. official tells I-24 News. Unconfirmed reports of a prison breakout, Central Tehran prison. Channel 14 suddenly suspended its live broadcasting. First time in 43 years, Iranian state TV, IRIB, 9 p.m. news bulletin, not broadcast. Iranian National Security Council says, we reviewed the latest developments in the retaliatory response to Israel and emphasized the continuation of harsh strikes against the aggressor. They smell blood, folks. They're not going to stop. Syrian Civil Aviation and Air Transport Authority announced that Syrian authorities have decided to temporarily close the country's airspace until Tuesday morning. IAEA Chief Grossi says Israel's airstrike on Iran's Natanz facility may have caused severe or total damage to centrifuges due to a power outage. Sudden loss of electricity could have affected the facility's core areas and up to 15,000 centrifuges, according to the BBC. Haifa Refinery shut down due to severe damage following the Iranian missile strike yesterday. And that, my friends, is your current crisis report for the 16th of June, 2025. Precipice to Oblivion. I don't know if you can feel it, but we are on the precipice. There's a major something going on. Best case scenario at this point will be one of the sides saying, you know what, we give up. Israel is not going to do that. They smell blood. Iran, I think they're not either because this is existential. So what you're going to see now is an intensification by the Israelis on the Iranians, and you're going to start to see Iran become a caged animal, and they will do whatever they can at that point. And at that point, what it looks like, I don't know. So hopefully you will consider joining like Stealth Mode and Howard Clegg for a whopping $8 a month to join us and help us continue this endeavor we call the Crisis Report and PrepperNow. I have been thrown everything. I've almost been kicked off. I've had my Patreon taken away. Everything, because all I do is come here and get everything that's going on, and I tell it to you straight. If you respect what we're doing here, please consider it. You can count on your thumbs the times in the last year. Daily, I have not been here. Literally. I am here every day. I will put a report together. I will tell you everything that is important going on in 20 to 45 minutes so you can strap on the earbuds, go about your day, garden, mow the lawn, make dinner, whatever, and you can sit back and learn everything that is important that is going on. Because to be honest with you, most of the stuff that's going on, according to our mainstream news is BS, and it's absolutely worthless. This is the main stuff going on. And I go to about 30 sites from all across the globe of every different political flavor because that's the only way to get the truth. If all you're hearing is pro-Israeli, all you're going to get is pro-Israeli. If all you're hearing is pro-American, all you're going to get is pro-American. If all you're hearing is pro-Iranian, all you're going to get is pro-Iranian. You get the point. Please consider it. All right, friends, thank you so much. I did have a vacation, and I was here almost every day. I think I missed 3 days out of the 10 I was gone. So, I did. Yep, mainstream's not covering crap. Why? Because they're not supposed to cover crap. They're supposed to make you think a certain way, which is basically just subjugating you to give up your rights. Let's be honest. All right, friends, God bless, and we will see you on the next one.